What up? How is it going? Welcome to our first Osiris League cast of the season, which is kind of nutty considering we used to do these a lot. I did a podcast sort of show with Bulbaritos the other day, and I've kind of explained why I haven't been casting that many arcs lately. But speaking of Bulbaritos, I need to find my headset. Here it is, because we're about to get on a call with him and sort of dual cast this match. The match we're going for is none other than the boys in Kingdom 52. They brought in a second team, LV against OneV. Now, honestly, I don't know if this account is whitelisted or it's the other one, so hope and pray it's this one and not the other one, or else we'll have to make a quick switch. But we haven't casted Osiris in some time. This season, I've been a little bit disenchanted with how watered down this whole thing is. What's up, Cam? We got a match coming up as well. Speaking of Cam, if I only knew which division squad is in, that would be nice, right? It's 6, right? Yeah, well, I do know. We got this match to play in a couple of hours, which is going to be a very, very, very fun match to cast. C9N versus WLN. Yeah, I don't think any of those. I wonder if anyone will show up. They're warring it out right now, so I have no idea what's going to happen in those matches. If anyone will show up, I need to get in touch with Bulba and get on the call with him. But we will be casting this match, which this power difference shouldn't mean anything to you, because we're talking about LV from Kingdom 52, who practice consistently with the #1 Osiris team in the game by a lot, and that is OV themselves. And we've been hearing a lot of good results out of their practice against OV. So that's definitely going to be one that you don't want to miss out on, because that power difference means absolutely nothing. All it means is that one side might heal and the other one might not. So yeah, I've been a little bit MIA from casting and from streaming in general. I mean, I've been watching Chisco all of this time. The crazy stuff going on in his KVK is absolutely mesmerizing, and I won't restream his KVK. I don't like to do that. I would rather my content to remain mine and his content to remain his. That's my philosophy. Obviously, other creators don't really care, which is completely fine, but I just watch him instead of trying to stream against him, kind of thing. I could have streamed yesterday, us pushing our 401 account in tech and all that stuff, but who wants to watch that when, I mean, the guy's taking rallies after rallies after rallies, right? And so we've been kind of MIA, letting him do his thing, and yeah, this is going to be exciting. But let's focus on this cast. This cast is an interesting one. Kingdom 34 against 52. This is a Korean alliance, if I'm not mistaken. The guys in 1V. And we know them from previous seasons. They did really, really good in other realms, and now they are in Kingdom 34, wanting to be part of the realm of Horus, the big realm with the bigger players, I guess, the older players in the scene. Let's get in touch with Bulba and see if we can get this rolling. Bulba.
What's going on?
Yo, what up, Bulba?
What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Chilling, man. How about you?
I'm good, brother.
Chat, let us know the sound, if everything's okay, if you guys can hear him, if all that good stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Are we pulling cams or no cams? That way I can fix my thing real quick.
Let me know. I don't have... Oh, we definitely cannot pull cams because my OBS is stealing the cam.
Okay, no worries. No worries. All right, Let me fix my thing real quick. We can talk about... we got about 30 seconds and we're going to hop in. So
hopefully I'm on the right account. There's a slight chance I'm on the wrong account. I might have to swap accounts real quick. But this is going to be an exciting match. I feel like people are snoozing on this match a little bit.
I agree. I think I was just saying, I think that I like the idea of LV being able to practice against OV consistently, you know, because it's one of those things. It's like in sports, you know, I think that iron sharpens iron. You know, you're competing against the best over and over and over again. I think or one of the best over and over and over again. I think it helps. So
yeah, and on top of that, obviously, it's not only iron sharpens iron, but also for iron to sharpen iron, the other side has to be just as strong, right? And so in the sense that if the team wasn't good enough to practice against OV might want to help them get stronger and better so that they have a better a better wrong match, a better competition to play with. Oh my goodness, get out of here. I accidentally went into the other match. Shoo. All this intro stuff is so annoying. I don't want to see the building. I don't want to see the people. Let me go. Oh my goodness. Road to championship. What the frick? Exit. Thank you. All of this to get into the one damn match. 1v. Bam. Here we go. And again, we get to see this dumb stuff. All right, so while we're spectating, we can definitely do this. Bulba, I muted myself with Bulba so he doesn't hear this mumbo jumbo. The Vanguard team 1v. Shout out to all the boys and
guys,
ladies in here.
No, it's not better.
Bulba, give me a sec. So the boys in here, we have the combatants as well. LV, shout out to them. Put them on the screen. The lineup right here. I see Jan. I hope that's Jan that I know, because she's a really, really dope player and a cool person. So hopefully they landed Jan. That would be sick if that's Kingdom 59's folks. The ex BMW. You can see right here the players, highlight the key combatants as we get into this match. I'm stoked. I'm really stoked to see what's going to happen. The Temple of Osiris couldn't look any worse, for the record. These guys had wins all over the place. Very strong wins. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Every single match they played was completely watered down. Like, this one had at least one interesting match, and the rest were all like... And so, this is why I didn't cast up to now. Here we go. A minute remaining.
What?
Damn, I undeafened with you saying, what? Just in the right time. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm just showing off all the players right now.
Oh, I did the
but
same.
Yeah, continue your thought, my friend. I know I didn't know if you had finished or not.
Oh no,
I was talking about iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I was trying, and then it's like it did the animation, so I figured I'd show the people just kind of what you said. I think that OV have an interest in making LV stronger, so that they have someone to practice with more often, right? I feel like that would make a lot of sense. And I see some people that I think I recognize. I think I saw Jan in here, which, if I'm not mistaken, is ex-JWM, but I'm not so sure about it. So there could be some ex-JWM folks in here, which means some other knowledge from other teams and past practice. 5 seconds to go. Bulba, well, what do you think is going to happen this match?
Which side do you want to start on, brother? You want to start on LV? I think LV is the unknown quantity here. So I think I'm going to start with LV. I know that you're streaming, so maybe you want to start with the other side or whatever you want to talk about.
Go for it. We're listening to you.
What I expect from LV, I think LV, as y'all know, it's knockout stage. So it's a win or go home scenario. There's really no reason to hold anything back. I'm expecting LV to come out as the aggressor. I think they're underpowered. They are one of the unknown quantities in the game right now. A lot of people are hyped on them, but I think you got to come out fast, punch them in the mouth, get them on their back foot kind of deal. Because I think if you come out flat, I think 1V is going to be they're going to get super aggressive. And I want to see who's going to be the aggressor out of these two. I think if you're competing against OV, that naturally makes you want to be a little bit more aggressive. So I expect that from LV, but I want to see what they're pushing through.
I think that, and when it comes to LV, I couldn't agree more with you. I think that they have something to prove, kind of thing, because they want to make sure that. And I'm seeing so many more forces out of them off the gate than I'm seeing off the other side. I see Lilith still haven't made it so that you can unsimplify graphics as a viewer, which is so frustrating. Yep. I mean, Lilith, for crying out loud, we've been asking for this for 2 seasons now. Add the damn button to the spectator for crying the frick out loud. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm still salty because you have those iPads for KVK and it's running smooth, and the tablets, and then in Arc it just automatically does it, and I'm like, there's more action in KVK. But
I agree. But going back into the match, I think that 1V are actually the one team, the team that has everything to lose, because they are a known name. They did really good in their past season. They came into this division to play against the best, and so they essentially, quote unquote, sacrificed everything in order to be here. So while LV have a lot to prove, 1V have to prove that, we made this investment and this change and it worked out. I honestly think that because of the way the Koreans play Arc a little bit more differently, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of different rotations that we don't see in even Chinese or Western Arc of Osiris type of gameplay. You can see a stupendous amount of OV players going straight towards the Desert Altar of LV, and it is early, of course. LV are going to show up for this as well. But these are the kinds of behaviors that we don't necessarily see in this kind of a magnitude out of the rest of the teams that play in this league. So this is going to be like Chinese way of playing Osiris League versus Korean way of playing Osiris League. And I think it's going to be really exciting.
Yeah, I'm just glancing over the marches from 1V right now coming through, and I'm seeing a ton of archers. So this is going to get interesting real quick because LV is sending a ton of cav. So this could be, this could get very dicey very quick. So that's where I think they're all going to be pushing. It's going to be on the 1V Desert Altar top side. And we're going to see Cavs, archers, it should be in favor from the marches that I've seen in favor of the Cav because, the ones they're sending the tanky Saladins, they're sending some Attilas, and they're going to go against a bunch of archers. But I can tell you that there are archers out there that will clap some Cav, but I don't know about if you're getting swarmed down like that, but we'll see. We're going to pay attention. I didn't see too many Artemisias.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong side. That's for sure. The bottom side for LV, they sent all of their Artemisias to the bottom. I was just, when you said top 1V altar, I was like, what the heck is he talking about? And now I see it. They're mirroring each other in the sense that they're both sending kind of the same exact stuff. I'm seeing cavalry, archers, and a little bit of infantry from LV going to the top, while mostly archers going to the bottom. And the opposite from 1V, the exact same opposite. But take a look at the first take right there. 1V already taking away 30 points per minute from LV in the early stages. And they are a little bit ahead as they got their buildings earlier. For the record, we were playing 29 against 29, and now we're at 30 against 29. 1V missing one person, so we got to keep an eye on that. That's 5 marches less on the field. Bulba fights happening everywhere. Desert altars both going crazy.
It's like watching a mirror on this bottom side Desert Altar. You got blue that full sended, but then didn't full send on the top. Then you have LV didn't full send on the bottom, but full send. Like it's gonna be. I wonder if we're gonna get a flip flop off the rip for first occupations. But as to your point for the outposts, a lot of people sleep on outposts, guys. Don't sleep on them. I get that. Oh, there we go.
There
LV
it is.
Snuck in on the bottom side, but they have an Alexander Garrison, dude. Oh, no.
That's not a big deal. As long as it's infantry, they're going to get that Zenobia in or whatever it is. I see the Zenobia already making its way there, and that's okay. At this point, it's just keep filling the building. Keep filling the building. Don't let it fall. That's the #1 priority. But, hey, we got our answer. LV. They're about to lose them both. What the heck is going on?
All right, so I'm going to flip over. Let me flip over to the top side. Yeah, they got in both. They got Guans and Alexes. We're still waiting for the Zenos. The Zenos, once they get in, this will be interesting. Because even those of y'all who watch Arc and see Zeno in there, even with that little sliver of red,
there's Zeno at the bottom.
You'll see Zeno just absolutely tank. Like, it's absurd.
Well, Zeno is at the bottom, but they indeed lost the top. And so now can 1V also take away the bottom back? It looks like there's a Zeno at the top for 1V, so that is over, at least for now, unless the rallies start swarming like crazy. That bottom area, though, is looking slim for LV. Man, at the top, it seemed like LV were a little bit undermanned and somehow snuck into the building and managed to take it away from 1V in time. But at the bottom, 1V, look at how much strength they have right there. And, oh, man, I kind of feel like this is going to end bad for the team in red.
30 seconds on bottom side left. Can Zeno hold on for 30 seconds? That's what's going to... Oh, man, but they're killing all the marches on the outside.
Yes,
reinforcements are getting nuked.
Yes, they are. And if you guys don't understand why Bulba was mentioning the 30 seconds, first occupation bonus of 750 points. If you're the first one to occupy the building, and within 10 seconds, that is going to be less than 10 seconds. That's going to be the case for LV at the bottom. 1V still have to make sure they secure their top desert altar. There is first occupation secured at the bottom. Now the top is being contested for another 37 seconds, but it's fully blue. So it looks like things are going to look good up there.
Also, we're Shrine of Life. We have LV coming in a top side, coming in with a Guan rally. So you're seeing a little bit of changes. It's very interesting that you're just not seeing Attila. You didn't see an Archer. We're going with Guan. We're going with Guan. And we got a
Well,
Richard Garrison
and we have a
up
Richard
there
Garrison up there, so I don't know
with
what
the Zeno swarming.
with the Xeno trying to come in. Hello, Xeno.
Hello? Hello?
It was in the building, then it went out to swarm. Like, you want to change captains. You don't want to leave the building. Someone needs to change captains in here. Hello.
Ooh, there you go. We got your Archer fam on the Sky Altar
There
top
it is.
side in red. We got the Eddie coming out. Dude, we got some different combos. I'm excited. It's not just Attila Takeda full send.
Yeah, well,
Eddie.
with the Zenobia on the wall, Edward and Guans are going to be very, very popular. Attila Takeda rallies are just not going to be a thing. 1V taking the Sky Altar at the top. Yep. Uh-oh. Trouble
Archers,
for 1V. I'm going to miss these a lot. Trouble for LV.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Very interesting. Looking at mid right now, we got the Arcs is about to spawn here in about a little under 4 minutes. And nobody is here. They're slowly starting to make their way, but it's very interesting to see that nobody is actually here for the most part. There's a couple of marches moving in. But
What is this
I expected
match?
They're tilting a little bit right now, but we're going to keep our eyes on it. It is 590. There you go. The points just ticked over. 1V 590 points per minute to 260 in favor of 1V right now. So the arc isn't going to make or break, but we always talk about it. The first arc won't win you the match, but it helps you to dictate the timing of specific things, as Lambo and we all talk about on the series. It allows you to dictate the timing, when you capture it, when your marches die, so on and so forth. So,
and to emphasize on that a little bit more, remember that when you grab the arc, you have 15 minutes to bring that arc back home, or 12 minutes if I'm not mistaken. But you choose when to do that. And as soon as you do, the 8-minute timer for the next arc begins. This is what Bulba means by you have the control and the tempo and the pace, is because you choose when you will deliver the arc. You can hold on to it for as long as you'd like and then kind of throw people off in the timings. What's really interesting to see is how easily 1V have taken a Desert Altar away from LV and have yet to lose it. On the other hand, though, they cannot defend their own Sky Altar, which now they took back. Both teams flip-flopped their Sky Altars, and I don't think neither of them really think that they'll truly hold on to the other side's building, but they're just doing it to destroy the points per minute generation out of those buildings. Remind you that it takes 2 minutes worth of occupation, or is it 1 minute now? It's 1 minute now worth of occupation for you to take a building. So even if you hold on to your building for 30 seconds and then the other team has a full minute to wait, that's more 200 plus points you've taken away from the enemy. Heaven's Grace being used
Heaven's
already.
Grace and hard push. Yeah.
Well, damn.
It's very interesting. I'm looking at the mid, and I like the idea of LV pushing the fight because they were undermanned. So you're forcing them to kind of pop their skills. Look, and they're popping their skills so early in the mid. They're just trying to clear them out, clean this first arc, and get it going. But we're going to see what LV does on the push. I know that they're getting rallied on multiple structures on the bottom side right now. LV ended up taking back their Desert Altar bottom side. So that it was at least a positive to neutralize a couple high scoring structures and get them back in your favor. And you should see people starting to reinvest back into the mid. And yeah, here they come, coming straight up the middle. Look at the train of marches coming straight up the middle on the side of red.
I see both red and blue, by the way, have a train coming in. But remember that red already popped their skills and blue have not just yet. So keep that in mind. And the one thing that needs to be mentioned here is the timings of things, because we talk about how timing is important. For LV to take their Desert Altar back when they did is exactly what they need, because it was just at the right time for them to get their building and go to fight in the middle and not have to worry about a building that is ticking for points for the other team. They pretty much evened it out to 590, 590 for this middle fight, which is usually the way you counter the middle. If the middle goes in favor of either sides, but the other side, the opposite side, has more points per minute generation, by the time that middle goes down, it almost means nothing, right? So for the middle,
1V popping another skill.
Yeah, I saw. Kind of crazy. The middle is gonna go nuts right now, and 1V actually popped their skills, and guess what? LV don't have skills left anymore because they used them early on to try to clear 1v out, but doesn't look like they managed to. This is going to be a brawl for this arc. Who do you think is going to get it?
Yep. I always tend to lean more towards the team that's the aggressor in mid, because I feel like the aggressors are the ones that tend to push the envelope. So you can, for those of y'all who aren't familiar with watching mid games, it all comes down to like it's almost like tug of war. You're trying to pull or drag your enemy onto their side so that you're forcing them to have to push through in order to get to the arc carrier. But look if you're watching mid, look at the path of that arc carrier has in the backside of that, because all the fights are taking place on the enemy side of the field, which is what you're trying to do. If you're coming in late, then that's perfectly all right, but you need to try your best to drag those marches to the enemy side. That way, that arc carrier who grabs it, and they grab it from the side. Oh, no.
Well,
for those of y'all who don't understand. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're good.
Go ahead. Continue.
The one thing I never like is when people grab it from the side, they don't realize the additional time that it takes if you would have grabbed it from the back and then just instantly turned. There's about a 10 to 15 second difference between grabbing it from the side and grabbing it from the back and just turning around. So that's why in those tight arcs, it's very, very important you know where you're grabbing the arc.
Correct, but 1V are now making the right play, and that is they're dragging the arc slowly and steadily to their side while cleaning off on the back area. So there's a lot of people trying to grab the arc, and you know, arc carriers an arc carrier is an important role. It needs to be emphasized, and a lot of teams, the issue with them is that they tend to panic when the arc shows up. It's like, grab the arc, grab the arc, grab the arc. So what more than likely happens is the people that hit it from the side are people that just didn't even intend to grab the arc, but it was just get the arc kind of thing. I don't think anyone intends to do it. I think it's more like a situational thing. But hey, 1V, you said the aggressors,
right.
But I'm seeing 1V just slowly and steadily making the moves, and I'm only seeing blue in here. I don't see LV almost at all. So I think that the aggression was a bit early for LV. I think that they misused their skills. They had the numbers game to be able to get it done earlier without the skills, and then once everybody else popped up, that's when the skills should have been used. 1V recognized that and said, we'll take a beating, bring in more people, and then when the other people show up, we'll pop the skills and destroy things. And it looks like that's what happened. There's an archer carrying the arc, not only an archer, a Nebuchadnezzar. And listen, so many people hate that I say Nebuchadnezzar, but I keep saying it just to tilt people off. Every single time I say it, someone comments on it. So at this point, I just say it to tilt people off.
Yes. The things we do for content, right? You got to get that extra comment.
That extra comment. Where does he bring a Y from? There is no Y. I'm like, shut up.
I just say Nebu because I'm gonna piss everybody off if I try to pronounce it. But it's interesting enough. I like what I'm seeing in the mid. I'm seeing some varying marches now. Now people are starting to bring some Trajans in. So this is going to be very interesting if you see some secret metas start coming out later on in the season where you bring multiple Trajans, similar to Ethels and stuff like that. So I'm going to keep my eyes on that. I did see at least 3 in the mid on the side of 1V, just in that one little skirmish. So that's interesting. Let me see where they're taking I think they are going to cap it on the Shrine of War. So they aren't planning on holding it.
I'll tell you what kills me. What kills me is the reason why people are using certain commanders and not like testing them, right? I can tell you that Trajan or Trajan, however you want to call him, is a very, very good commander. And for a good tanking, buffing, debuffing, like someone to be your Ethelfled's friend, we'll call it. Your Ethelfled's friend, Trajan or Trajan, however you want to call him, is truly amazing. He's really, really good. He's someone that you can comfortably put an Ethelfled behind and know that you might get targeted, and even if you do, it doesn't really matter. But the reason people are using him now is not because they see how to use him or they tested or they tried, is that they're watching other creators use them, right? Or they're watching other big players use them without necessarily understanding what's going on. But look at the push by LV. They're trying to sneak into this. I hope they left space in the Shrine of War for this archer to come down. Nobody's hitting this Edward. The arc is down. Oy vey. How is a small sliver Edward doing the job? Someone needs to pick up this arc and dip into the Shrine of War. That Shrine of War needs to have space for the march to come in. Hopefully it has space. LV haven't lost this just yet. They can storm the hell out of this building. 1V needs to get in and needs to get in now. Hopefully they have space. We're about to find out. There are people hitting this arc carrier nonstop. Where is he going? Hello? Into the
Dude,
building he goes, and there is the arc capture. There's the arc capture. 8 minute. Yeah, exactly. Panic. Get in the building. 8-minute counter up on the top left. And here we go again. The cycle begins for the building game, at least for the next 5 minutes.
And we got a Guan rally coming in on that structure. Zeno getting hit. I guess they're getting swarmed before the rally comes in. We got a
definitely not a good idea. Definitely not a good idea. But it's okay.
Dude, Jigglypuff. Man, what a legendary name. We got Zeno, Desert Altar top side.
I don't think that rally's even going to get there. Oy vey, that Guan rally melted on the way there. Oh my goodness. They just swarmed it and said, see ya to Jigglypuff. I don't know if that was, you know, this, we got to make a comment about this, right? Because 1V are now posturing power, right? And I think that's a huge mistake. I think that they could have swarmed that rally a little bit and then let it hit the building. At the end of the day, Jigglypuff is now crying home, which is not a bad thing because in 16 seconds, Jigglypuff can relaunch this rally. Remember, this is a game of time. There's no reason to posture forward. If you have all the power 1V had, they should have gotten rid of the open field reinforcements and not the rally and let the rally hit. Drag the rally, drag the time. Look at where you can utilize your enemy against himself. That is the key to success in arc matches. And we can't say much, though, because these guys are almost 4,000 points ahead. Oh, my goodness. Topside Desert Altar. Guan getting absolutely nuked again. And on the other side and on the bottom of that, Shrine of War being swarmed like crazy. Zeno holding the door as much as she can, but I mean, I don't know if she's as big as Hodor needs to be to hold the damn door at this point. Because, man, the swarm is real. But the swarm is getting weaker. Oh, Zeno got kicked out of the building. William in the charge. And come on.
Yep.
Well, there's reinforcements coming in. I was about to say, bang, the building goes, but they keep reinforcing it. Come on, hold or don't, but something happened. Okay, well, there's
so many red. There's so many red.
So many red on the way, yeah. I guess Zenobia wasn't big enough. Alex definitely is to hold the door because he is holding right now. Oh, my goodness.
The rally dying. Oh, no. They're going to hold it.
The door was held. At the bottom side, there's an attempt by LV to take the Sky Altar, but that rally just went poof and disintegrated. And now all the open field marches are on their way out to 590 to 590. Ladies and gentlemen, one teleport available for 1V, who, by the way, got their 30th player in. So we're on a 30 versus 30 right now. Lord knows when that happened. But nonetheless, we're looking at a 4,000 point spread between the team in red and the team in blue. 36 minutes remaining in the match. If y'all think this is over, you guys are out of your minds. This is going to go to the last minute. I have no doubt about that one.
The Alex held. I just watched it. The Alex held for that building.
The Alex must hold. Hold the door, Alex. Hold the door. And so, yeah, it looks like we're doing okay. So far, so good. LV are already rotating towards the middle. I'm seeing a few folks coming in 5 minutes ahead of time. Their Desert Altar is being swarmed, but is secured. 1V now need to regroup and figure out what their next move is. Lots of frowny faces coming home, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Interesting play call, especially with the timing. Okay, never mind. They're pulling back. Some are full sending forward on the bottom side. They're full sending forward. I think they're going to attempt to neutralize some structures at the same time and then rotate towards mid. So we're going to keep an eye. We've got an Eddie rally coming down towards the Desert Altar bottom side. So we'll keep an eye on those. But there's a lot of marches. I think they're about to refresh. This is one thing I don't necessarily like. I guess it was a close structure, so I'm okay with it. But there are a lot of very small marches, but they are very close to their obelisk on bottom side. So I'm okay. They're probably going to refresh and then resend through mid because they are probably seeing LV starting to slowly move in. And now here it comes, a wall of red. Let's see if they posture up. I'm pretty confident for those of y'all. If I know Gecko will probably, I'll let you dive into this, but what is the benefit for them to bubble up and basically make a ginormous ball in front of where the arc is going to spawn?
So there's a lot of factors as to why this is good or bad. For the record, LV took that Shrine of Life on the top, and now 1V trying to do the same at the bottom with an Archer rally on its way. I think that 1V are a little bit out of placement for middle fights. I think that it seems to me like they might be potentially just trying to delay the second arc a little bit rather than fight for it. And if I was them, I would probably play for the buildings game more than for the arc, especially now that they picked up the 1. For LV to posture forward, it means that they're trying to push the fight to be close, to be on the enemy side, and therefore, if even the team in blue pick up the arc, they're going to have to go through that cloud in order to make it to their own side. But as you can see, OneV is doing what I'm saying, and that's essentially they're playing the building game right now. They have a 2-minute occupation time on the sky altar that's supposed to be red, and they recognize that the rotation came in early from OneV and from LV, and LV is posturing forward. They know now that it's either they take the fight against LV, who are very well positioned, and it looks like they're slowly creeping in to do so, or they first of all take a few buildings and get people distracted and get some of these marches that were maybe going to reinforce the middle to now have to go get this altar, and then they show up for a middle fight. 5 minutes ahead of time it seems too early to me.
I agree. I think when you were talking, I didn't want to cut you off, but yeah, they ended up taking back on top side. They took back their Shrine of Life on the side of 1V, but they also neutralized the Sky Altar on the side of LV on the top side as well. So just neutralizing those, you'll start seeing points per minute. Even if they show up late, it becomes a game of, are you willing to sacrifice the mid, the arc, but dominate in points per minute possibly? Or what risk you're going to take? There has to be a risk reward all the time, whether you're going to go for the arc, you're going to delay, what you're going for as a game. We've seen plenty of games where they lose the arc, but they dominate the points per minute, and arcs become essentially for nothing. Because right now, we're going to keep a close eye on the points per minute, but each minute that these tick and tick and tick and tick, and you're in advantage, it makes your arc worth less and less and less and less. So it's a fine game that you have to play in the mid when you're determining how much you're going to invest into the middle. I know we've talked about it before, where at some point later in the match, it's going to come to decision time between, hey, do we need a full send in the middle or space ourselves out and do both outside and mid? Yeah, we talk about it all the time.
1V.
But here we go.
1V.
The aggressors in the middle
are about to stick it to LV. LV are doing the ball technique. They're hoping that if they ball up, it'll work. I think that 1V made a huge mistake engaging here. If 1V wanted to really get this arc, my opinion was go around the ball and get closer to the Temple of Osiris, make your own ball, even on the red side, and then march around that ball. When you're in the middle, you don't want to ball because you're leaving the rest of the lane pretty much open for occupation. This is a mistake by 1V. 1V walked into the red blender right here, and I'm seeing so far 3 frownies blues, 2 frownies reds. Both of them seem to have popped, or at least
here they go.
Yeah,
here they go.
There it is. Here come the
Sad
frownies.
Faces everywhere.
But I'm seeing more blues than reds non-stop, and that's because they engaged into the grinder, into the ball, and you do not want to engage into the ball. You definitely don't want to engage into it.
Did I miss it, or did LV pop to the death?
They might have.
There's the sparks. It looks like there's a bunch of the sparks, which usually indicates to the death. So this could explain why there's a ton of blue that are leaving, because they invested a ton into skills. Yeah, it had to be. Yep, they did pop to the death.
They did pop to the death by the looks of it, but that's again.
Oh, the arc is out.
The arc is out.
Running.
I mean, of course, they 1V played into LV's hand essentially, and that is they balled up and they're like, cool. This is what I was talking about earlier about showing power. You don't want to be the guy who's swinging his PP around because you think it's bigger. You want to be the person that's carefully maneuvering every move. And I'm seeing a lot of blues still, by the way, so this is not over by any means of the imagination. But 1V could have literally circumvented that ball, put themselves in, even on the side of the arc, as a ball themselves, gotten the arc, marched it together, and now LV have to aggress into 1V's positioning. Look at the change, though. Yes, the change happened because the arc is on the red side, so everybody went towards the arc. And I'm seeing a lot of reds and very little blues. There are some blue marches in the form of a rally coming in on the side right there. It's a rally that's about to break to reinforce the middle. I don't think 1V have enough left in the tank in here right now to do much in the middle, but I might be wrong. There's more and more marches coming in here. There's the rally.
They're investing more. The reinforcements are coming. There's a rally coming through the middle too. I want to see people start to break these rallies in the mid.
And there's another
I
to
get
the
the outpost, but rallying an outpost to me, I would rather have those blue troops in the middle fighting for this arc.
I'm pretty sure that the idea was to cancel. I don't know why the rally continued going, but I guess. To the death procced again and a bunch of other skills again. LV pretty much putting everything, all their energy points into this middle fight, which tells you how much they I guess felt threatened by the previous engagement that they had to spend to the death by the looks of it twice. Although that doesn't make any sense. Maybe it wasn't to the death that they procced earlier, because they're right now they procced it again. So maybe it wasn't to the death earlier. But I mean, that arc is probably going to go red, and LV making the plays, man. Shrine of Life going in favor of LV at the top. LV also aggressing at the bottom. Sky Altar, which seems to be doing a decent-ish job. No idea yet if this is going to go in their favor or not, but it looks very good, very solid. The middle is unfortunately looking very red, and while 1V are now on their back foot, there are reinforcements coming in by the bucket loads. The problem with reinforcements is that unless they arrive together and attack together, they're going to be very meaningless. You can see right now, LV are going to start sniping these marches one by one that are going to try to get into the arc carrier, and this is just going to be a complete waste of time and energy for 1V. Watch these marches just slowly and steadily dissipate into nothing. They might drop the arc carrier once. I think
right now they're in the stall game, because if you're looking at points per minute, 1V is leading them, they were leading them. I believe it switched over. Yeah, it just switched over. So they were leading for quite a while. So keep in mind, guys, the second arc is going to be worth 3,500 points. Okay, even if they capture this arc, which if you're LV, you need to capture this. You cannot afford to hold this at this point, because you're no longer in charge of where it's shifting. I think the more the points per minute lean into LV, they may consider possibly holding this. But
I am seeing a Cleopatra in the middle.
You're seeing a killer.
I'm seeing a Cleo in the middle.
I think this is going to force. I think 1V is essentially trying to stall long enough to force them to have to cap it as fast as possible, because even if they cap this, they're still going to be down almost 2,000 score. So it's basically almost forcing your hand. It's not forcing it to the point where it's immediate danger right now, is if they were able to neutralize or do some other things to benefit it. But look, there's more and more blue marches that are coming and coming. It's the stall game right there. There you go. He died once, but look at the blue marches coming through the mid.
I'm seeing a Trajan behind a Herald right here. So that's interesting, an interesting play. I see a Herald behind a Constantine too. Sus, very sus. But again, like we mentioned, all I see is blue frownies, right? All I'm seeing is blue frownies.
I think they're serving their purpose though. And this is just my opinion. Like, I think they understand they may have lost this arc, but they're gonna make it so long in order for them to capture this, that the points per minute is what's gonna kill them right here. Now, if you're LV, you need to start neutralizing some stuff, because once again, it just flip-flopped. So now it's slightly, even if it's in favor, just by ever so slightly, you can't afford for 1V to have it in favor of them. You just can't, because right now this arc is becoming very time consuming.
I agree. The time consuming here factor is what 1V is going for, and it looks like they're bringing waves after waves of time consumption in the process. But I'll tell you what, the points per minute game isn't leading in anyone's side too deeply. 10 points for 1V is really nothing spectacular to write home about. They are, however, about almost 4,500 points ahead. It's like now they're 4,500 and some points ahead. And so even if this arc is delivered, there is still going to be a lead for 1V, and there's still going to be a lot of time on the clock, 26 long minutes, to figure what the heck to do. And here's the problem for 1V, okay? If they don't figure out how to get that third arc at this point, they're going to be in deep trouble. They've recognized the timings of LV. They've seen that they can beat them if they show up a little bit earlier, I guess. Ooh, arc carrier is blue, but that's going to be gone in, that's going to be gone in 3, 2, 1.
Look at this guy.
There it is. Okay, I was close. Wait 2 seconds. It's fine. Not a big deal. But anyway,
bro, you starting to riot in my chat. You ready? From our stream together. Literally, Lambo comes in and goes, "Where's it at?" Lambo goes, "Bulbaritos is making the call in Discord. Attack the Belisarius."
Yeah. I know, right? I know, right? Where is the Belisarius on the open field, Bulba?
I'm telling you.
If you guys don't know, chat. If you guys don't know. We did yesterday a show that Bulba does every week about Arc, and I asked the question: if you can ban 3 we talked about the fact that each team can ban potentially 3 commanders out of the arc match as like a thing. Like in the beginning of the match, each team picks 2 or 3 that cannot be used by anyone throughout the match. And I asked everybody what were their 3, and Bulbaritos literally says Belisarius is one of his because of an arc carrier. I am seeing arc carriers in here, and I don't see one Belisarius on the field. This man says Belisarius as his ban, chat. And he then goes on to be the most professional arc caster out of all of us.
Well, you know how you say Nebuchadnezzar, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I just threw Belisarius because I knew it was going to trigger all of y'all. You know
what I'm seeing though? I'm seeing OneV carrying the arc back.
Oh,
is this the thing?
Dude, I'm telling you, they're bringing it back to the center. And now Red's in trouble. Red's in trouble right now. I am also being told on our chat that WOS versus SNC1 is tied up 17K to 17K.
Cool.
SNC1 is the top 32 on that one, so we might see another upset as well.
That would be interesting to see. I mean, so far, no, I don't see any upsets yet, but chat on both streams, in the comments in the chat right now, which are the 3 commanders you would ban out of an arc match? You can't use it and the enemy can't either. 3 commanders that would be banned out of a match if you could choose. Titch in here saying William Guan Nebu. Well, I'll take those picks. It's better than Belisarius.
He must be watching the Gecko Gaming videos. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, that's how you succeed, right?
That's why I don't make them. All right, fam. Don't blame me. Okay.
Anyway, I am seeing a Zenobia Wuzetian in the middle, so I guess that's something to write about home. And it's actually okay. OneV making this extremely difficult. Now OneV are actually doing what they need to be doing. I'm very impressed with how they turned this thing around, because they didn't only delay the life out of this arc and are making it extremely, extremely costly to LV to grab it and continually keep reinventing themselves and re-upping their marches in here. They're now in the lead in the points per minute game by 140 points, the folks in 1V. So they're accruing more and more points. They're almost at 5,000 point lead. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to see. They're using their enemies against themselves. They're literally making LV give up everything for this arc with a very insignificant investment by 1V, in my opinion, into this middle fight. I'm only seeing like 10 at a time, 15 at a time marches, which is not the biggest investment, but they are using their marches to grab Shrines of Life, to posture towards the Desert Altar that's about to get murked once this rally comes here. And
we got a con rally, Shrine of Life, bottom side.
Wait, what?
You love it. You love it. Bottom side, Shrine of Life, con rally.
Don't you love them cons? Don't you love them cons? Shout out to con. I mean,
shout out to the trash cans. To the trash cans out there.
I don't know about the trash can. I mean, if you hit that 30%, he's gonna do a boatload of damage. But yeah, he's as squishy as Jello, so you probably don't want to be doing that.
Dang.
The arc now broke.
2021.
Yes, sir. The arc finally broke out, and it's gone. It's still not over, but it is fairly gone. 1V could have decided to give up this Desert Altar to go posture forward towards that arc. And the problem for them is that because they gave up on that arc a little bit too early, their effort in the Desert Altar at the bottom might be in vain, because you can see the middle now, knowing that they have secured the arc, starting to come back into this Desert Altar to protect it. And this Teltacada rally is doing really good with the swarm on the building, but with the amount of reinforcements coming in, at this stage, you don't even care that it's infantry or not. You just stick troops in the building to just stop the bleeding. If 1VLV doesn't do it, though, it's going to be a big problem. They are doing it slowly and steadily. More marches coming in. That building is probably topped off to the max. Now the swarm is coming in to destroy the rally as well. And bad news bear for LV, for 1V. God damn it, everybody in their Vs. They didn't grab the Desert Altar at the bottom, but hey, the Sky Altar at the top is secured with a Theodora defending it as well, which is not bad. Nothing in there too much. Shout out to the Baybars on the open field trying to take the building back. No disrespect to the Baybars, you know what I'm saying? You got to do what you got to do. He got the building back, so hey.
The babe bars.
And 1V actually take away the bottom Desert Altar.
Desert Altar, yeah.
God, well, LV, why?
But they have limited reinforcements here, so if you're LV, you should just be insta swarming this down, which is what they're doing right now. It should come in see if the reinforcements can get in before this, but I don't think it's going to make a damn difference. I
30
think, yep,
seconds.
there it goes.
There
And it
was 30
flips.
seconds. Now it's 2 minutes to hold back your building. That's 2.5 minutes
Dude.
of points out the window.
Oh, we missed it. Sky Altar topside had a Yulji garrison. You love to see it. And of course, the reports are bugged. So, yo, welcome.
Hey, Yulji Garrisons means 1v. Grab that Sky Altar once again, and you know what that means, right? Points per minute game is still in their favor massively, 380 points per minute. And now, what's their face? LV have a huge problem, and that's the problem solved. They have to get that arc in. They cannot delay it any longer. They are losing the points per minute game. Even after this arc, they're down by 2,500 points. Terrible, terrible business, and that's not going to get any better for at least another minute or two until they get their buildings back. So, 1v, they're swinging everywhere, and I mean, it is working. I feel, I don't know what's going to happen here.
But they're only up by 2,000, like less than 2,000 points. Like, I'm telling you, for all the swinging they're doing, it's kept them in the lead.
That wasn't a Baybars. That was an Osman. Wow, my brain. Sorry.
Oh,
anyway.
sorry.
No,
but
that was my brain.
By much. It's not by much. So that's going to be one of those things. If you're swinging for the fences on the side of 1V and LV, you've held out. I'm telling you, this next mid game is going to be insane. If we thought this is the exact scenario that we've talked about, and I know that we talked about it in depth with the JWM too, way back in the day, where do you overinvest in the middle or do you stick with your structure game? Because you can't do both. You can't do both. And I think on the side of LV, if you were LV, would you overinvest in mid, or would you play it a flat game across the board?
I do got to give a quick shout out to Pavel, because I got corrected when I said Baybars and it was an Osman, and then he goes, always those whales that don't know their epic commanders. That is not a false assessment. That is not a false assessment. But other than that, I think that this is a question of how your provisions are going to look, right? Because at the end of the day, if LV have enough provisions, they can afford to do either and do it successfully. The next arc is going to be worth 4,000 points, and it's coming in about 6 minutes. If it goes in quick enough, there is a slight, very, very slight possibility of one more arc, but it's super, super slim. Like, if this arc pops and they get it back in quick, there's a chance to do the same thing again. I don't think there's even time for that. 4,000 point arc, that means that either LV make it to 27,000 points, or 1V make it to 30,000, which would give them a 7,000 point lead. The building game is still working in the favor of 1V tremendously. So in the 6 minutes until the arc shows up, 1V are going to increase their difference even further. If they have provisions, I would give up on the arc. I would just send a little bit of stuff to piss LV off in the middle, which LV are already committing to the middle 5 minutes and 40 seconds ahead of time. Ugh. But the buildings keep turning blue consistently. And 1V, I think they're making the correct play.
I think a lot of people, that when they talk about structures, this is the one mistake that a lot of people make in their minds. They think we need to take it and cap it, and it has to be done. That neutralizing structures is it should be a part of your game plan. If it's not a part of it, timing for neutralizing structures is almost as effective. Of course, you want ticks, you want points per minute, you want all that. But if you're taking away as much, and not losing, neutralizing becomes a play as well. And I think that's where, if you're LV right now, and I'm going to go on devil's advocate on the other side, if you're LV, I think you need to invest a little bit more into mid than structures, but you have to neutralize some high scoring structures prior to going to the middle. Because the timing has to line up where if you're going to lose in the points per minute, it can't be for 7 minutes. You can't be down by, what are they down by? 400 points per minute for the next 4 minutes. You just can't have that. You got to keep it pretty close to where you're forcing them to have to invest to the middle in order to slow you down, I think, if you're on the side of LV. So I wouldn't full send into the mid, because 1V has clearly demonstrated that they can easily take a structure. So you can't do that. You have to leave something there for them to contest on the outside. But I do think they do need this arc. I think that's the one thing LV needs. I don't think they're going to beat 1V in the structure game. It's been going back and forth, and 1V consistently, I think, has an easier time doing it. So I think if you're LV, you do need to invest in the middle in this one. I just don't know if it was 5 minutes early.
I do agree. I'll tell you what, though, the buildings are all turning blue, and when we went to take a peek at what OneV and LV are provisioning. I saw pretty much the same kind of provisioning out of both of them. One March was making its way home from a provisioning on the blue team, and another one was in a tile. And on the red team, I saw 2 on a tile and maybe 1 marching home. There's another one right there. So they are both provisioning a little bit. They're not provisioning to like, I'm not seeing 4 or 5 tiles being provisioned. For the record, one thing that you should keep in mind is, first and foremost, all 4 altars are blue. 3 of them are already ticking for points. We're talking 590 points every single minute in the favor of the folks in blue. Remember that you don't have, and they're even provisioning in the middle, for crying out loud, but remember you don't have to provision throughout the whole match. You can literally decide, especially as blue right now, that everybody who's in the middle right now, go grab a tile and go gather. Like, half of the middle, go gather right now for the next 10 minutes. The rest, just piss the middle off. Everybody else in the buildings should stay in the buildings. And that's that. Folks need to understand that provisioning takes time, but you don't need 50 minutes to provision. It'll take you about, I think it's like 10. I don't even know what's the timer on a 3-minute tile, on a level 3 tile, but it's not that big of a time consumption to get even a few provisions in. If 10 marches get into 10 tiles and get themselves a little bit of provisions each time, I mean, that's gonna pile up. And look at the difference between the 2 teams. Almost 5,000 point lead in favor of blue. They are in the middle as well, quite aggressively. Red are gonna need to show up, and the points per minute are just abysmal. 660 points. Oh my goodness.
Oh. And I'm getting some scores fed to me on the chat right now. We got C9N leading 29K to 24K right now. We got SNC1 narrowly leading WOS 23.9K to 22.4K. Oh man, we're gonna have some close, tight-knit ones coming through the stretch. We got 13 minutes left. LV balling up. We got two balls coming. Are you ready for the ball fest? The 93 strat.
The 93 strat? What?
Do you remember? Dude, I don't know if you saw it when Drago streamed one of the KVKs in 93, and he was so pissed off because they're pushing through the pass, and 93 had 3 balls. Like, they were just balls of marches on the other side of the pass.
Yep.
And there was people getting swarmed down, and the balls never moved. So we call it the 93 ball strat, that just ball up and just stare at each other.
I'm taking a look in the other matches to see if there's anything interesting on my phone, anything going on. C9N are leading by 5,000 points now, 30,458 to the 25,577. So going to be a little bit of a struggle for WLN to come back into this. I believe they're both also KVKing right now. No, they aren't. One of them is. The other one, they're not against each other.
They're both. Oh, no, they're not against each other. The only ones that would be against each other, I believe, are SX54 and BLN. Those 2 are going to be going up later on during 15.
Which is going to be a crazy, crazy match. WOS are behind by about 2,000 points, 2,600 points right now. The middle fight is here. And all I'm seeing is a big, big, big blue cloud. Huge blue cloud.
Sad faces
LV?
everywhere.
Hello? LV? Hello?
20 seconds, the ark's going to spawn.
Hello? LV?
Hello?
Anyone?
Lol?
Anyone? What does provisioning do? Joe Williams asks. That's a good question. Provisioning is essentially another method of gaining points in Ark of Osiris. You have 3 ways of gaining points in Ark, either by occupying buildings, and then as soon as you occupy them every minute, you get points, by grabbing this beautiful Ark of Osiris, which is worth a huge chunk of points, or by provisioning or gathering these nodes, these caravans, and each reserve is going to give you, I believe, 3 individual points and 1-ish in the team point. So provisioning is another way to get points. Look at OneV and the Ark.
And the Ark, the Ark is gone.
And
they're gonna send reinforcements, but oh man, I should have banned CC out of it. God dang it. Look at the CC running. Oh dude, he's flying.
Well, I'm 0 for 1 in my predictions. 1V definitely knocked that out of the park. I mean, they are killing it. They are 6,000 points ahead.
You chose 1V. I didn't choose one.
Did I
chose
choose
LV.
1V?
Yeah, you chose 1V. You chose 1V, and I think you and I'll bring it up in a little bit. I believe you and Hova chose 1V, and then Lambo and I chose. We were split.
Maybe.
And I believe me and Lambo chose LV.
I'll say
So
sure, I was right, sure. Although I don't think that's right, but sure, I was right, I guess. I think I picked LV, but that's okay. Either way, 1V are definitely showing that anyone that the pick was them. I mean, that Cao Cao is just running home. And yeah, there is a Saladin pissing it off and a Khan right behind it, but it's doing damage, but there's enough marches coming in to potentially stop the Saladin down a little bit or just slow him down enough. Some march speed reduction would be really nice at this point to allow that Cao Cao to bail out. And there it comes right there. 1 and 2 out the window. And Double C striding his way, slowly and steadily making his way to the Shrine of War. Red team at this point trying to do everything they can to stop this arc. There's marches coming to the Shrine of War, but I mean, this is too little too late. Watch that Cao Cao just turn, hightail it, and say, nope, I'm out.
So I can confirm you chose wrong. So
I remembered.
Welcome to the crew.
Well,
the only one that chose 1V was Hova.
Well, we were all on that OV grind and didn't think that it would look like this. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is not necessarily a team that has been doing arc long enough to be at that high caliber. I think that they're lacking experience. That is very clear, but that's not a bad thing, right? For a team that's recently been formed, right? The second team coming out of Kingdom of Kingdom 52. I mean, you can't knock them down for it. 1V are extremely good. They showed it last season. They were doing really good. Chat, don't forget, of course, to drop likes on both my stream and on Bulbaritos' stream because, you know what I'm saying, we here casting, chilling, showing you a match that had a lot of potential, but I do feel like at this point, 1V are just pretty much going to run with it. 10,000 points in their favor. 8 minutes remaining in the match. The points per minute are even, so that bleeding is going to stop. Provisions are going to start coming in slowly and steadily, but we saw 1V provisioning too, so
Oh,
I really don't know.
It.
Yep, they did. So I really don't know. I don't know what's next for LV.
11,000. Oi.
That's going to be a really hard pill to swallow right there. Let me go take a peek.
All right, so from what I'm hearing, SNC1 versus WOS might be the closest one right now, 28K to 24K. But WOS is down, but they own the arc.
1 second, you have wrong information. WOS are at 29,018 and freaking they're less than 1,000 points between SNC and WOS. Nobody has the arc. The arc has been delivered. 7 minutes for that, so no more arcs. The buildings game, although, is in favor right now of WOS, and so is the points per minute by about 120 points. So they are closing the gap. They own.
Do we want to switch over to that one?
We could. We definitely could.
Which division is it?
They're Division 9. Yeah, 9? Sure. Okay. Let's go take a look at that. I feel like that's going to be an exciting way to close this cast. I mean, I'm always for staying till the end of the match kind of thing to respect the teams and all that.
Well,
but
yeah,
I mean,
I think we just want some tight matches, and I like the idea of this being a top 32 team, potentially Heaven's Grace getting popped.
It got popped on a different scale. That's kind of hilarious. I was already on the other match when Heaven's Grace popped, so it's kind of funny. Oh boy, 400, less than 400 point difference between these two teams. Oh my goodness gracious, points per minute swinging in favor of the blue team though. So bad news bear for the guys in red. Teleports available. We're on both sides. Hopefully everybody TP'd out. I mean, that's the little things, right? Shrine of War at the bottom being contested, but doesn't look like blue have put enough effort into it. The red team is really doing everything they can to grab their desert altar back. Blue team has presence here, but they're just not filling the building for some reason. They're fighting on the open field. The building is holding, though, so that's a good thing. That Theodora at the bottom desert. Oh, there's the refills. Oh, boy. Red team in trouble. Their own desert altar down. They cannot take back the sky altar at the top. Desert altar at the top secure. Oh, my.
This bottom side, look at this Theodora holding on for dear life. SNC1 holding on.
And that's the point maker. The other two are not ticking for points right now. So as soon as that goes away, the points per minute game is going to swing in favor of red. Now, at this second, the Sky Altar secured in favor of blue for points per minute. So they are going to maintain their lead of 30 points. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
The neutral game. Here it comes, Bam. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, because, well, they did change the capture time. So that does change it a little bit. There used to be a strat last season where when it was under an X amount of time, you would just full send and neutralize as many because they wouldn't be able to recap. just to lock in your points per minute.
Correct.
That did change a little bit this season, with the fast-paced timing and skills and hard push and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I think neutralizing structure is going to come in clutch here in a hot second. We are deadlock right now at 440 points per minute for each. So that typically leans in favor. I'm going to go look at some provisions, see if they have provisioners
I am
going
seeing
in.
tons of blue provisions. That's what you need to do right now. 4 minutes remaining. There's no point in trying to rally. There's honestly, at this stage, everybody in there, I shouldn't be seeing a single tile not being provisioned, because that's the only points you can securely guarantee 100% in this time remaining. The blue team is doing that. I see a bunch of blue provisioners. What's going on the red side? Rallying and getting buildings.
Not very many.
Not very many. That is
Nope.
trouble. That is really trouble, because remember that even if you march really far, you're going to be able to, with T1s, get back into your obelisk pretty much within a minute. So you have 3 minutes now of just occupying, getting points. I'm seeing at the bottom a lot of red provisions.
Bottom side red provisions. Yes,
yes, they need that. This is what you need right now. Boa is pretty much like, screw this. I'm sending everything I have into provisions, and that's the play. Those are the guaranteed points you can secure for your team. Obviously, if you can take buildings away from the other side like the blue team is doing, they took 2 outposts out of the red team and an obelisk. That's 80 points per minute down the drain, and now they're 110 points per minute ahead, which is fantastic news. It's what you want, but all of this energy being spent right now on the field is completely unnecessary. So many open field marches just standing. Go find a provision. You guys need the points. Every single tile needs to be gathered right now. And
this is one of those things. Red on bottom side, Sky Altar is about to get rally, but this is one of those things when you see tiles around here. I know Lambo talked about it in particular. If you see a tile and you're waiting for a rally or you're doing something, get in the tile. It doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're sitting there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it is, doing nothing with your march, at least put it in a tile. That way, at least you're actively trying to add on points, because there's a ton of AFK, especially in mid, where you're just standing there. Somebody get in that tile. Somebody sit in there. If you're going to sit there for 3-4 minutes, at least do something with it. So time utilization becomes key, especially with provisions, because even when you're not a provisioner, if you're just waiting on the field, you could be doing something. So that's just stay active is what I would say.
I'll tell you this.
YSS is getting melted.
It is, but I don't think it's going to break. There's enough blue people out here that they should be able to hold on to it, hopefully for them. And I'll tell you what, I preached that too, until I got to the point where I was standing on the field and finding myself standing in the open field, not provisioning. It is extremely tough to provision while you're waiting, because there is one tile perhaps nearby if you're lucky, but more often than not, you're waiting in a specific position next to the altar you're garrisoning, next to the building you're defending, or something like that. And having that mindset of going to a tile nearby and coming back in time and timing it is often much harder to actually do than to speak about. And I stopped saying that, because I find myself with 2 marches sending next to the desert altar, because you don't have a true indication on a rally is already being launched at you, a rally is marching towards you. There's so much stuff on the screen that it's extremely tough to time these things. And so
and the provisions are coming in.
Big time provisions from the blue team. Look at the gap grow, and on top of that, they took the Shrine of Life at the bottom, 140 points every single minute in their favor. And there's more provisions coming in. Don't think that this is over. I am seeing tons of provisioners walking back. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are all coming home. Just like I mentioned to you, a minute before the match ends. That's when you bring them all home. And look at the provisions jump, 32,000 to the 36,000. And it's going to keep growing. It is going to keep growing for the blue team. A red team is doing their thing too, but they need to be careful, right? You don't want to get caught outside on the tile too late. They have marches coming home as well. The red team, I'm seeing Boa on his way home now. 1, 2 marches still on their way. 4 more gatherers. But blue team definitely focused on the gathering a little bit more. 290 points per minute on their side right now. 5,000 point worth of a lead.
Oh, shit. They're all coming in now. Oh, no.
Farmer Gecko.
And that is the power. That is the power. Yes, yes. That is the power of provisioning. When you want to know what the difference is, that call had to have been made early and often in order for them to dunk that hard on provision. And I'm telling you right now, that's why a lot of people sleep on provisions. But when you come in and you're going to full swing like that, it's going to come down. Provisions tends to be one of those things that if you sleep on it, you're gonna regret it. So I think that's
10 minutes
that's a
before the
lot of
match
provision.
ends. 10 minutes before the match ends, you're better off provisioning. That's straight up the truth. And look at the 5,000 point. One more arc showed up in the last minute for the folks in blue. And you know what's left to say, Bulba? GG to both
GG.
WAS and SNCL. Or one. WAS knocked out. Now they have some time to focus on ARC on KVK, which for the record, they are with us in KVK and 401 and doing a fantastic job at the top. But now they'll definitely focus on KVK while we can, potentially go do Osiris League. Hello, please help.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Omega LOL. I also heard from somebody in chat that 234A did not show up because they were KVK fighting. So that is officially our first victim that I had high hopes for, because 234A are a very good ARC team, but
it's gonna happen a lot today.
Yep. They chose KVK over Osiris League and only scored, I think they said, like 1,700 points. They just didn't show. So that's one of those things.
SNC picked up 6,000 points more on the provisions front.
Ooh.
6,000 points more. They took a bunch of heals in the process. 13 million heals is just a thought about it, because there's like potentially like 7-8 more matches till your championship, and you're already going 13 million heals down the drain. Lord have mercy on your speed ups.
I'm telling you, I predicted we're gonna start seeing matches with like 30 million plus heals on big boy teams, not on these the little 2.3, 2.5. I'm talking like, I potentially see those 3 bill plus alliances. They're gonna end up, because of KVK and overlap, I think they're gonna hit those 30 mil heals pretty quick.
I don't believe it. If there's KVK overlaps, they're not going to waste their heals on Osiris League. It'll be about those who pick Osiris League versus those who pick KVK. And if they pick KVK, then you're screwed either way. And if they pick Osiris League, then yeah, they'll heal as much as they need to. Well, it doesn't look like things ended up too well. Let's go see if any other matches had a quick situation in here. Let's see what we got going on. So, Division 1 did not, I don't know if they played right now. Oh, you can't even see if they played right now or not. That's nice. That's nice. Can go into the schedule.
1021. See, I don't know some of these teams. 114 doesn't play until 15 UTC. JWM2 or JWM Division 2, neither one of them played.
Against KDH. It's going to be an interesting thing to see. C9N winning 43,000 to WLN 34. C9, shout out to Send and the boys in C9N doing their thing as always. C9N is another one of those teams that people just don't pay attention to, and they're just in the shadows doing work.
They're always underestimated. And when everybody's like, C9N isn't good, I go, guys, they're probably one of the most consistent top placing teams in ARC that nobody ever talks about. They consistently make top 16, top 8.
I don't think they're underestimated. I just think that they're not in the light, right? They're not in the spotlight consistently, so people aren't really paying attention to them too much. And I think that's also intentional, right? They try to fly under the radar, and when they need to recruit and migrate people in, I mean, they recruit and migrate people in, no problem. But they do great in ARC. They do fantastic in Osiris League, and they do fantastic in KVK. I mean, they are right now going up against Chisco, who is right now streaming himself, doing everything he can to hold on to their flags and stuff like that. So I want to see who shows up to the 3 UTC match, because I can see C9N going. They have another kingdom with them that can protect, but is our Smash squad going to give up on pretty much half of their KVK map to win an Osiris League match? Because that's what it's going to take.
I'm literally, I told everybody, they thought I was joking. I go, if you watch it and look at all their garrisons, for the most part, garrison, rally leaders, they're literally all on the Osiris League team for the most part. I go, so, and then the comment I got was, well, there's other people that can garrison. Well, if they could garrison before, they would have done it. I go, if you're competing against them, that should be the hour, like that's your happy hour right there. You got an hour with no Tickle Fist, no Chiskel, no Groggy, They're literally their team is stacked with their garrison and rally captains. You
I
should be
agree.
making moves, and that's what you should be doing. All right, thank you, baby.
I definitely agree. TR beating what 341, 341. There's TRO one as well. TRO one, right? Was that crazy?
No, 114S one.
114S. Sorry, TRO lost to
Mhm.
114S. I was just looking at that. On Division 20, we have K122, KI 122 or 122, whatever they are, winning in there as well. Dove, very successful W, very easy peasy squeezy. 1V beating LV like we saw. L13 against How. Looks like a very one-sided match as well. Looks like 1V at the end really squeezed out a 9,000 point lead, so good for them. R111 beating FTKA, which is that's an interesting one. FTKA probably more focused on their KVK than focused on that, because FTKA is not a bad team overall. There's a bunch of other situations in here.
Let me ask you this, because I didn't ask you on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your sleeper? Give me.
I don't
want
have
to
a
say
sleeper.
one.
I don't have a
You
sleeper.
don't have any sleeper. You don't think this season's gonna have any sleepers?
The sleepers in the season so far, I am sleeping on this season, because it's like I told you, it's too watered down for me to keep up with it. I'm waiting for the playoffs, and then once it trims down to 32 teams, like good proper teams that I'm not going to be watching like 7,000 to 90,000 point matches, then I'll have a couple dark horses that will make it out. But from these 512 to pick a sleeper it makes me sleep more than finding the sleeper. It's just too much.
I love it. Yes.
Well, Boba,
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been fun, my friend.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you got your match coming up. Go check them out, fam. Go check them out. Which squad are you playing on, my friend?
I'm in squad. I'm playing. We're
You're
playing
in squad? Okay.
15 UTC. So unfortunately, I will not be able to stream. Someone asked if I'm streaming at 15 UTC. No stream. Focusing on our match. It's going to be a good match against the Titans of 79.
Yeah.
Gonna be
So go check them out, fam. Thank you again, my friend. Everybody in chat, go check him out. I know most of y'all already know who he is. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention before we head out. I put a bet, against Groggy, that if Smash Squad wins, that I have to take a pie to the face, cream pie to the face. So we will probably be doing that at 19 UTC. So,
well, good luck with that.
Me luck.
Don't forget to drop likes on both streams before you guys leave. And Boba, I'll see you next time.
All right, brother. Have a good one. Good luck.
Man. Chat, we're still here. I appreciate every single one of you who showed up to this cast. I know that there are a bunch of casts happening on the other side, and there's a crazy KVK. I'm literally watching Chisco on this stream while casting with you guys, so it's been kind of nutty. I appreciate all the likes, all this love, all the support. I might come back to cast at 19 UTC. 15 UTC is I'm playing. I can't even cast. If we find a good match at 19 UTC, I'm probably going to do it. But as I mentioned to you guys in the beginning, like these sleeper matches, I honestly... I don't want to waste your time or my time watching matches that are complete resident sleeper type of thing. It's like, it's not meant for me. There's a lot of good matches at 15 UTC. If you guys want to come check out our match, you can watch it in game. For now, I'm going to go get something to eat real quick. We have about 45 minutes till I got to get ready to rock and roll. All of my hospitals are clear. About to pop my boosts, reset my sets, make sure everything is secure, get through the checklist of preparation, get on voice chat, because Cam was here earlier and Cam might get we are going for Osiris League Gecko. Okay, cool, West. That's good, Westy. That's good to know. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Obviously, if you guys are going for Osiris League, that's awesome. Nobody would blame you if you didn't. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, it's a tough situation you guys find yourselves in. And I think that you guys are making the right decision going for Osiris League over going for KVK, but there's no disrespect out of me or any diss or anything like that. If you guys didn't show up for Osiris League, I mean, I'm watching you guys for the last 4 or 5 days. It's obvious what you guys have been going through, right? So if you're going for Osiris League, good luck. I hope you guys kill it. It's going to be a tough match, especially having in the back of your heads what's going on the field while you guys are in Osiris League. So I really hope you guys do good, Westy. And yeah, I'll be watching on my phone or on my computer while playing on the tablet. Chat, take care and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys maybe later tomorrow or today, if not tomorrow for sure. Have a good one. Peace and good luck to all of you in Osiris League. Kill it. Go do your thing.